Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 27th of October 2022, and I want to recommend a video. It's not a very long video and it's on this platform, so link to it will be in both the description box and the comment section below here. It's actually by the Inspired channel and the title is "We Told You This Would Happen," or something very similar to that at least. And this is a recommendation from a viewer, so they know who they are. Thank you for that. And I did watch it, and like them, I agree that it is an extremely valuable one to look at because it shows very, very clearly and in a very bite-sized segment what the powers that shouldn't be have in store for us, which is this horrible dystopian future of a social credit system. And the guy explains that the three cornerstones to that are going to be universal basic income, digital currency and digital ID, and they're all going to be kind of tied in and linked together with one another. And many people watching this may well think that universal basic income is a fantastic thing. Well, it might be, and they'll certainly make it seem like that, won't they? Because after all, who doesn't want free money? Who doesn't want money for no work whatsoever? Just as an aside that I'd add on, if you are getting money, getting a living without doing any work for it, well, what does that make you? Yeah, it makes you basically a useless eater. Their words, not mine, because this is the way these horrible people think, and that's the sort of terminology they use. And bearing in mind, if they're thinking of you in those sort of terms, these are the same kind of people that would make you redundant from your job despite decades of sterling service. As soon as they got it into their heads that you were surplus to requirements, you're out the door. And they've got no heart, no compassion. They just do that, wouldn't they? We all know that these people do that. There's no question about that. And these are the same kind of people who are sort of running the world and who want to bring in this dystopian future for us. And yeah, if they've got it into their heads that you're a useless eater, well, they might decide to make you redundant permanently, if you get my drift. So that's an aside which might make you think twice before thinking that universal basic income and free money is a good thing. But it's also going to, as the guy in the video says, just lead us into almost a prison-like existence. It'll be a gilded prison, prison without bars, but you'll have no freedom, you'll have no independence of thought, and you'll just be a chattel to the state. And whatever they want you to do, well, you better do it. Otherwise, you're going to start finding that either A, you're not going to get your universal basic income anymore or have it reduced, or you're going to sort of go to places to find that your digital ID, instead of going green, which will allow you to, I don't know, get on a plane or a train or sort of go into a shop or whatever it might be, will sort of turn red instead, and your access will be sort of denied. We've seen this. This has played out over the last couple of years with the sort of V passports. Now you might sort of be thinking, yeah, well, Tim, unlike you, I'm not anti-treatment. I don't mind going along to get updated treatments whenever the government says I should do. I haven't got a problem with that. Well, you might not have a problem with that, but going forward, there might be other issues that you do have a problem with. Perhaps you're a meat eater. Well, what if the government says that you can only eat meat once a week or once a month even? Or you're a pet lover, but the government suddenly turns around and says, well, we think pets are bad for the environment and contribute to the whole climate change thing. So we're going to limit pet ownership to just one pet, either one dog or one cat. And if you've got more than that, you're going to have to surrender the rest of them to the state for disposal. As they'll probably dress it up nicely, but you can guess what that might mean. So yeah, following these state orders might not be quite so appealing if you find yourself in that sort of position. And before you sort of say, oh Tim, that's never going to happen, don't be silly, that kind of thing, both of those examples, the meat thing and the pet thing, they are both on the cards, and or at least have been touted as ideas by the powers that shouldn't be. So yeah, just be aware that one day, maybe in the not too distant future, your government will say something to you or want you to do something that you will be very unhappy with or about, and if you refuse to do it, or even if you complain about it, if we're in this whole sort of digital nightmare, you're not going to have sort of many places to run to. And the guy kind of hinted that there's really two types of person, isn't there? Well, I'm going to add to that. He only hinted at it, but basically there's people who want to be fully independent, fully responsible for themselves, want to earn our own money, feed ourselves and take care of ourselves, and with absolutely minimal to zero interference from the state. And then there's the other lot of people who basically want to be nannied by the state. They love nothing more than to just get free money from the state, despite the sinister implications that might have that I alluded to a few minutes ago. They want to sort of just be given orders to follow all of the time by people that are supposedly sort of have more knowledge than we have, who are more intelligent than we have. It doesn't really seem to be the case with the current lot of geniuses in the government at the moment here in the UK, does it? But so the whole notion of that is laughable, but there are people out there who want to be led by these people, even by incompetence. So really there is kind of two groups of people. And I would say that whereas the second option looks like it might be the better option on the surface of it, what with free money and everything, I would suggest that that is far from the better option. It is the worst option, and it can only lead to a dystopian future, which your children and your grandchildren will not thank you for. So with that thought, I'm going to leave it and let you go and watch this inspired film. I think it's only about 10-12 minutes long or something like that, but it's certainly worth sharing, especially if you know people who fall into that camp I've just described, the hand-holding or sort of group. Share it with them, and hopefully it might wake a few people up to the horrible future that, if we're not careful, we might be looking at, and before too long as well. So I'll let you go and do that. Links will be in the description box and the comment section below, and I'll be back tomorrow. Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.